Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and thank you for being here. This is my first video in a series of videos that I plan on doing about different heroes and villains from different media. If you liked the video and you enjoyed the theory, feel free to subscribe and follow along for more. I plan on posting at least somewhat regularly. So with all that said, I appreciate you being here and let's get started. I wanted to start with one that really bothered me for a long time because I couldn't quite figure out what he was doing, and that would be Lord Harkon from the Dragonborn DLC. So when we first start the Dawnguard questline and we rescue Serana, she's imprisoned with an Elder Scroll, and we find out later that her mother did that in order to protect her from Lord Harkon. So we're taught immediately from this series of events, and even once we return with Serana to the castle, that Lord Harkon is more thrilled about the retrieval of the Elder Scroll than the safety of his daughter. And initially I thought this had more to do with the fact that they're immortal and Serana was independent, so maybe he thought she went off and started her own coven of vampires or something. And I really couldn't work out why the disregard for his daughter, why the passiveness to her. And so over time, as I thought about this, and I never understood it, I played the Dawnguard questline. Primarily, I played as one of Harkon's vampires in order to get the abilities, and I just really enjoyed the power that came with that transformation and the control over that transformation. But it never set right with me, that questline, and how it ended, how it went, the motivations. A lot of it didn't really line up for me. And now, 14 years later, I think I finally came to a conclusion, and I'm not really sure why the conclusion hit me recently, but I do think I have one. And so, we learned that Harkon's strand of vampires are created directly from Molag. Through his wife and daughter, he was given that gift and that power. And when we speak with Valerica, she tells us, like myself, Serana was a human once. We were devout followers of Lord Molag, and tradition dictates the females be offered to Molag on a summoning day. Few survive the ordeal. Those that do emerge as pure-blooded vampires. We call such confluences the Daughters of Cold Harbor. And then later she tells us, if Harkon obtained Orio's bow and Serana's blood was used to taint the weapon, the tyranny of the sun would be complete. In his eyes, she'd be dying for the good of all vampires. So, what I've come to realize is that this has nothing to do with Harkon, Valerica, Serana, or any of the other vampires running around Tamriel. This has everything to do with Molag. So the Elder Scrolls Online did a wonderful job of elaborating far more about what we know about Molag, what he's like in practice, his personality, and what he's generally like as a Daedric Prince. And one of the things that really stuck to me is that they call him the Daedric Prince of Plots. Generally, we think of these complex plots as far more in the realm of Mephala, or even Boethia, but Molag is not one that usually comes up when it comes to long-term plots, long-term ambitions. He's used by ambitious people, but we don't really see him played out in that way. And I think now in context of the Elder Scrolls Online and Metamarco, and us learning more about Molag as a devourer of souls and one powered by souls and one who seems to use it as fuel for his own world and for himself, however interchange you may think those are. So here's the theory, is that since Harkon is looking to blot out the sun, it would lead to the death of everyone on Nirn. And so inevitably, this means that everyone's going to die under the reign of the vampires, until the vampires themselves are wiped out because there's nothing left to feed upon. So the inevitable end of this is that everyone on Nirn, every animal, every plant, every tree, every person, every vampire, everyone dies. And if everyone is turned vampiric by the vampires while they're feasting, and even those who are killed by the vampires, we have reason to believe that many of them would be claimed by Molag, raising his power and eventually making him the god of the world. And I think for Molag, this is a very ideal situation because he wins in every aspect. Anyone who is claimed by another Daedric Prince, anyone who is claimed by the Divine, he would have full right. Because another thing that would happen with the tyranny of the sun is the fact that if you blot out and completely eclipse the sun, you block the access for the gods into Nirn. Because if we remember, the sun in Nirn is not a solar object, it is not a celestial object. It is a hole punched through the sky by Magnus and his children through the stars. And so blocking access for the gods to access the people leaves them ripe for the taking for the Harvester of Souls, Molag. It makes Harkon look like he's an unwilling participant in a game that he doesn't know or understand. And you would think somebody who's lived this long might be able to sense, they're playing center to a game of chess that they have no awareness of. To Harkon, this is just unlimited power, and that's all he's craving is unlimited power. He was a servant of Molag Bal. He knows what Molag Bal is, and yet here he is in the midst of this, ready to kill everything. And I'm not sure whether it's devotion on Harkon's part or deception on Molag Bal's part, but at the end of the day, he's the one who wins, and he's the only one who comes out of this victorious should Harkon succeed. And then playing through the Elder Scrolls Online, I'd made a new character recently, and I played through the storyline, really paying attention to the beats of the storyline and the dialogue in the storyline. And at the end of the storyline, Molag Bal says something that struck me as really peculiar, out of context, because I also did not know what he was talking about, knowing the future events of the Elder Scrolls that happened. I congratulate you, little insect. Your sting is formidable. You have bested me and released 1,000 times 1,000 souls back into the Mundus. For the moment, your world is spared, but my grand scheme has only begun to unfold. Excellent. Your power shall prove useful in the coming conflicts. You've met a great and terrible enemy this day. Your world would have been better off if the Plane Meld had succeeded. Had you bowed before me and accepted eternal servitude, I would have protected you. There are far worse masters than I. Far worse. And after hearing this, I was really confused, because if you've played the other games, and you know the through lines and the beats of the other parts of this franchise, Molag Bal does not really play an integral part in any of the other games, except for when Dawnguard comes out. He is a background influence, and in the Dawnguard DLC, when all this occurs, it's my belief this is what he was talking about. Can you imagine a world ravaged by eternal night, where the vampires claim dominion over everything? And him telling us that he would have protected us, what would he have done unless he was in full control and gaining something for doing it? But all in all, that is the theory that I've kind of come up with over the last couple of days and couple years playing these games and enjoying this franchise. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please feel free to like, comment. Let me know your own speculations, your own theories. Do you think I'm completely off the rocker? Do you think this is far more obvious than what it was for me, who took way too many years to figure this out? What are your thoughts? Comment below.